Assalamu alaikum. Today I will be demonstrating you about the terms Treppe and Tetanization. So first of all, discussing about Treppe. So I would illustrate by this help of this high graph. So suppose a muscle has contracted and the calcium ion is required for the contraction of the muscle. So the muscle has contracted, and now this is contraction, and now it has got relaxed. Now after the relaxation, some calcium ions are still present in the sarcoplasm. So again the stimulus has came, and again the muscle has responded to that stimulus, and again the muscle has contracted and amplitude was greater because there was some calcium ions which were already present in the sarcoplasm. Now again the stimulus has came, and again the amplitude was furthermore greater, and again and you must need to remember this point, that each muscle is responding to the stimulus only when it has completed its refractory period. Okay, when it has completed its refractive period and it has got completely relaxed, then it is giving the response to the stimulus, and it is contracting, and again the amplitude is increasing after every contraction because some of the calcium ion still remains in the sarcoplasm. So in this way, like this wave will be developing, and the contraction would be regular and smooth, and amplitude would continue to increase. So this kind of contraction occurs in the cardiac muscle because each time what is happening, that the whole this muscle is completely undergoing the relaxation phase. It is completing its relaxing, and after the completion of its relaxing, it is responding to the stimulus and again contracting with the greater amplitude. So this type of contraction occurs in the head muscle, and you must need to remember this very important point, that in this type of contraction fatigue does not occur because the muscle is getting completely relaxed. That's why what happens, that no fatigue is occurring in this type of the contraction. Now what is happening, that that this muscle is contracting, then again it's relaxing, then again it's contracting, then again it's relaxing and contracting. So a regular you can say pattern of contraction is formed here. So this type of contraction occurs in the cardiac muscle, and it is known as the Treppe. Now further illustrating that, we know that the refractory period in the head muscle is greater. The refractory period is greater, so that's why it takes time to relax. So now talking about the tetanization. So discussing about the tetanization, let's suppose the muscle has contracted in response to the stimulus, but before going into the relaxation phase, it has again received the stimulus and it has again contracted. So you can feel the difference between the tetanization and the Treppe. What happened in the Treppe, that the muscle got completely relaxed, and then it had received the stimulus and then it got contracted. But in this particular scenario, in the tetanization, what happened, that the muscle has not gone into the relaxation phase, but before going into the relaxation phase, without completing its refractory period, it has gone into the contraction. Again, without completing its relaxation phase, it is again contracted. Again it has contracted, and in this way this type of graph develop. Now you can see in this particular graph that what is happening there, the muscle hasn't got enough time to go into the relaxation phase. It is continue to contract without being going into the relaxation phase and without completing its refractory period. So it is receiving the stimulus before going into the relaxation phase, and it is contracting, and what happens, that the ions are constantly accumulating. Because the muscle is not getting enough time to relax. That's why ions are getting accumulated, and what happens, that ultimately fatigue develops because ions are getting accumulated. And why ions are getting accumulated? Because the muscle that stimulus is not allowing the muscle to go into the relaxation phase, and so that muscle can completely relax and again go into the contraction phase. But what is happening that the muscle is contracting without going into the relaxation phase, so ions are accumulating as the contraction is proceeding on, and ultimately fatigue develops. So this type of tetanization, this type of contraction, which is known as the tetanization, occurs in the smooth muscles. You can see that I will draw another graph for the smooth muscle, and you can see that the refractory period of the smooth muscle is short, and the relaxation was going to occur here, but the muscle is contracting here without being going into the relaxation phase, and again it is contracting, and this type of graph is developing. So this is the basic difference between the Treppe and the tetanization. In Treppe, no fatigue is developing. Why no fatigue is developing? Because the muscle is going into the into complete relaxation phase, and after being completely relaxed, it is then going into the contraction phase. But in the case of tetanization, what is happening that the muscle is contracting without going into the relaxation phase. The ions are getting accumulated, and ultimately what happens, the fatigue develops. So this is the basic difference between the Treppe and tetanization, and hope you have understood my lecture very well. Last but not the least, don't forget subscribe MS Lectures. Thank you.